You're seeing people a little bit more for wellness. You're seeing people a little bit more in an ongoing maintenance aspect. You also have the opportunity for packages, memberships, those types of non-traditional revenue streams that PTs usually don't have when you're relying on fee-for-service visits, insurance reimbursement, etc. So the thinking was, what services can we offer that our PT patients would deem useful to them, even when they're not PT patients? So if they start as PT patients and we're doing these things, they're complementary to their PT care, but then there are things that they can come for that aren't PT related. They don't need to get a referral from a doctor. They don't need to get authorization for all those different types of things. So for 2022 to 2023, the focus was on the recovery side of things in conjunction with the PT side when I opened up that new office. About the summer of 2023, what I figured was that although the recovery side was going well and the PT side, they were marrying together, it still wasn't completing the whole picture. And so last summer, I decided to pursue performance testing in conjunction with the recovery and PT. Incorporating the performance testing, we'd be able to basically analyze a bunch of different pictures and biomarkers for overall health. And so now, instead of just thinking about utilizing cryotherapy or red light therapy or anything like that in isolation or paired with just recovery for athletes, now you're looking at it in the perspective of, how does it help my metabolism? How does it help my sleep? How does it help my brain health? How does it help my overall recovery? And so now you're taking the same technology, and now you're applying it to multiple different health outcomes. And so now you're more in a health optimization mode where you're taking the data, as a PT, you're used to assessing a situation, evaluating where the problems are. You have your problem list, and then you have your plan of care, and you're addressing that for an overall outcome. And so it's the same thing when you're dealing with health. You're dealing with sleep, or you're dealing with brain health, or you're dealing with metabolic health. You have an issue or a question, you want to improve something, you analyze it, you get the data, you implement a plan, you give that plan a period of time, and then you retest, and then you modify. And so by adding all these different services, because now, we've added PEMF, and we've added shockwave, and we've added VO2 max testing and resting metabolic rate testing and 3D movement screen. So we added so many services that, to consolidate it so that it doesn't become so overwhelming, we divided it into the labs. So the rehab lab is more your PT side, right? Your traditional PT side. The recovery lab is, everything that has to do with recovery, whether it's recovering from workouts, whether it's recovery like sleep and stress and recovering your normal health. And then the performance lab is where we're doing our testing and our analyzing. We're trying to improve performance. As we all know, and it takes time for PTs to understand this because we come from a scientific background, just talking about your tools and your technology or your features isn't what moves the needle. A lot of people can get lost in, wow, that's so much stuff, what, I don't even know where to start. And so you kind of have to steer them in the direction that they want to go. And then once they pick a lane, then you say, okay, these are the things that we have to support the health outcome that you want. And so I would say 2 years ago, it was, man, I have all this cool technology, let's use all this stuff. And people would like kind of freeze up because they didn't really know where it fit into what they were doing. And so over time, we dialed in as we added more stuff, and then we created pathways. One pathway is sleep health. Okay, these things help with sleep. One pathway is brain health. These things help with brain health, metabolic health. These things help with, and so now it's very concise. And so people are more willing to buy into the plan when when it's comprehensive and builds off of itself versus you have all this stuff and let me just randomly pick, oh, let me just try this one time or that one time. We need to do something for 3 months and have a consistent follow through where you're committing to a specific plan. So it's just taking what we already do as PTs and as healthcare providers when we see somebody and trying to navigate that on the front end and all, and not forgetting about where your roots are, but also showing people that you can incorporate multiple things. And then it's just been figuring out the way to make the message more concise and so that folks understand and aren't turned off because it's just too much.
If you'd like to learn more about Strata PT and see how our EMR and RCM works, head over to stratapt.com to book a demo.